Well, we have to remember that conditions can change at any time, and it's not always up to us what happens to us. As what happened the other day, a couple of weeks ago, when there was an accident on one road that caused accidents and turmoil on other roads. People got stuck for a few hours. Luckily, it was only a few hours, but it could have been more. And oftentimes around here, we'll find ourselves in some sticky situations or find someone else in sticky situations, and we should always be prepared to deal with whatever comes up, at least at a minimal level, so that we can at least survive until someone can come help us. So we try to keep things in our cars to be ready to go for whatever happens. And some of that has to do with our own personal safety, the people who we may be carrying, like our families, and also for the other people around us who we might come across. Might be a neighbor or someone we never know, stuck in a snowbank. How are we going to help them? So we'll go through a few things that we have in the car. The first thing is sunglasses. Snow blindness, not good. So first thing we'll see here is some of the vehicle equipment that we have. Always keep a tow strap, because you might not know if anyone else is going to have one or not. Very handy. Jumper cables. Just when you're sitting out there, and if you have to run your car for a while, you might need to be jumped afterwards. This goes with the tow strap, but a lot of cars don't have real good attachment points, so having one of these things for about $15 is pretty handy.
Good point.
Always have your snow brush, ice scrape, because sometimes when you're driving down the road, your defrost can't keep up with how hard things are coming down and the temperatures, so you got to keep things clear. There happens to be a shovel in here. The shovel's more important for the winter time than the axe is for the summer.
Yeah.
We also keep a few handy tools, just little things, nothing major, but things tighten down whatever happens. Pair of pliers, those sorts of things. Now, here's one thing that some people don't think about, but medications. Make sure you've got a couple things for your family. Spare food, spare batteries for whatever you've got around, personal hygiene. And here's where we get some interesting stuff. We have an emergency blanket. This thing is tiny, but it'll keep a couple people warm for a few days. Really helpful. GPS for going in the backcountry, because we're always out there. I always keep a pair of radios in the car, because if one of us has to be separated from the others, we can always talk for quite a ways.
Right.
Cheap and easy. I happen to keep a air compressor in here for filling up tires, but I do a little more off-roading than some folks.
Right.
Again, personal hygiene.
Good.
Gloves. Always got to have gloves in here, because when you're putting on chains or clearing stuff off in the ice, you got to have something to protect your hands. You cool off too fast. Flashlight. Headlights are really handy, so you can keep your hands free while you're doing things. I keep these things around. It's a little extreme for some folks. They're for walking on the ice and snow, so you don't slip around. Especially helpful when you're trying to help other people out when they've slipped off. More spare food. Duct tape and baling wire can fix anything. And of course, towels to clean up.
Okay.
You know, other things. Always a knife. Now here's an interesting tidbit. A lot of people have hitches on here. If you're going to tow someone, yank someone out, never use the ball. Because if that ball snaps off, which it can, it's not meant for pulling, and yanking on chains and things, if that thing yanks off, you've got a projectile that's going to go through about anything around you. Best bet, if you don't have any other choice,
Okay.
put the tow strap into your hitch and just use the pin. Safer than the ball. For the average traveler, I would prepare for overnight, for a 24-hour period. It doesn't take too much to be able to do that. A couple of snacks, a couple of bottles of water, and you're going to survive. For a home kit, you always think about the 72-hour kit. And I think the further out you are in the backcountry, or the further up in the mountains you are, the bigger your kit should be. In most cases, your safest bet is to stay with your vehicle. And if you have the ability to make some sort of signal to people passing by, do it. Whether that's a flag waving out, something attached on your antenna, or flipping your flashers on when you hear someone coming by. something to get attention so that people know you're there. Staying in your vehicle is generally safer because you have the ability for shelter, number one. And if you were on a road somewhere, chances are someone else is going to be on that road and be able to see you. So stick close.
Gotcha.
The first order for driving in the winter, especially in the mountains, slow down. Conditions change all over the place. You can be dry one second, black ice the next, and snowpack the next. Slush can throw you off. It's very easy. Four-wheel drive will not save you. All-wheel drive will not save you. It will help you keep control, but it won't save you. Have good tires. And something to keep in mind is that as we get more and more snow around here, the plow drivers have to push it off further and further off the road so we have enough space for the next snow event. And something to be considerate of is number one, don't leave your car in the middle of the road or on the side where the plows aren't going to be able to plow through or drive past. Stay back from them so you don't get shattered windshields, because they're almost always dropping something out the rear. And when they push it off the sides, there's a lot of places where the bar ditches get covered over by the snow and you can't see that. Try and stay where you know the road is and don't go off the edge, because you can find yourself into a very soft situation and going over sideways or being stuck very quickly. Along with your food, always carry water. The general practice that has seemed to work, at least for myself, is to use small water bottles and keep them upright, because then they have enough space to be able to expand and freeze and not explode on you. And if you're stuck for a long time, you can't run your car completely, so got to have some extra stuff. Winter gloves, jacket, hat is always helpful to keep stuff out of your face. There is always a spare jacket, the blanket, gloves, and a few other items that seem like normal things, but they go into the emergency pack so that they're always there, they never come out, and it's generally my last season's equipment. So you just recycle and keep it around.